Boy. Shoe. Yo, that was late. Sorry. Updating the actual video. How am I holding up? Yeah, I'm good. Blink 3 times if you're being held against your will. Oh no, it's just my kids. So yes, I'm being held against my will. Yeah, past week or so, I don't know. It's been tough. It's had its ups and downs. Sully's services are Sunday, so I'll be going to that. But yeah, everything's good. He'd want us to keep on pushing, so that's what we're gonna do. I figured I'd jump on here and do a live stream. chat you guys up, see what's going down, see how everybody's week went. Um, Worked on a little bit of kit earlier. Uh, Made some ghetto stuff work pretty cool. Some prototypes ghetto stuff that I gotta refine with. I gotta get some 1 inch nylon straps. But how was y'all's week? Beep boop lettuce. Oof, fence holes. Post hole diggers or T-post driver. I guess if you're digging the holes, you'd be using post hole diggers. More food packed. Yep, yep. I actually got a weekend where I'm not running and gunning, so that's one thing that I'm gonna do tomorrow. Is go out in the shed and re-inventory all my camping and extra non-perishable, I guess, foods, stuff like that. I got to go through there and re-inventory, throw out the stuff that's bad, and then consolidate if I don't get mauled by chickens. Ooh, pickaxe and spud bar. I guess a spud bar is the same thing as a rock bar. That's what we call it down here, as a rock bar. Couple of days of that, and your shoulders are going to be bulletproof. When I was working down south, I had to put a couple of miles worth of T-posts in, and it was all compressed gravel. And I think day 3, day 4, I like couldn't even lift my arms up. It was pretty rough. My hands were all blistered. One and the same. Okay, spud bar. I guess that's for potatoes. It's funny how like different parts of not only a state but also the United States, there's all kinds of different names for tools. Like when I was working pipeline, everybody there called everything different. So they're like, "Hey, go get this," and I'm like, "I have no idea what that is. I can't go get it for you. I have no idea." And then they show me, and I'm like, "Oh, it's this." And they're like, "I've never called it that in my life." Pounding picket sucks. Yeah, yeah, for sure. That first week of doing that, though, that's what motivated me to start getting in better shape. And aside from feeling old and tired all the time, I'm probably in the best shape that I've ever been in my life, which isn't saying much, but I'm in better shape than I was. Oh, do 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 do. when you published this video. Consider posting before as your traffic grows. Oh, that makes sense. Oh man. Yeah, so earlier I was working on my hey, round is a shape. Round is definitely a shape. That's the best way to another great way to shake out the kinks in all your kit is to go work out in it. You'll find out really quick what works and what doesn't. I was working on my plate carrier earlier, and I don't know if it's like everything I see online that I assimilate and create my own theory behind it. What do you need? Well, don't stare at me like a weirdo. It makes me nervous. um, plate carriers have their place, very specific purpose for that. And I think here in the future, when I first got mine, I thought there was only one size, and so I have larges, and I dislike them greatly. I think I need a medium, so I'll probably be getting a new carrier, or at least new plates. But I don't want to have to mentally switch from scenario to scenario with different pieces of kit because I mainly like running my chest rig. And now with those plate carriers with the clip-in placards, you can have your chest rig and then you just wear a plate carrier with a slick setup and then you can just clip in that placard from your chest rig. Well, my chest rig can facilitate it, but my plate carrier couldn't. I've got a JPC knockoff, and so I've got a tote out in the shed with just all my random sundries of tactical garbage, and I found some clips, and right now I've just got them tied in with paracord, but the mag flap that comes up, I just cut that thing off, and then on the molly up here, I just paracorded those clips on, and so now I can go straight in with my chest rig placard. So I'm pretty hyped about that. I got to refine how the clips go in, but aside from that, I'm digging it. Which it ain't nothing new. I just ghetto rigged an already existing product. Oh, Prime Prepper. I'm doing pretty good, man. How about yourself? I'm hanging in there. Prepped father, I like it. My body says, "What are you doing?" But I'm doing it before I go for my daily ruck. Yeah, that's the thing about dudes getting older, man. The software is still 20, 21, 22 years old, but the hardware is giving out. As long as that software don't go out there, you'll be just fine. So, just like with all my live streams, I throw in like random topics to talk about. So, the ghetto gear, that's obviously the uh, plate carrier that I've been working on. I'll go get it here in a minute and show y'all how ghetto it is. Also, the title says third degree burns. Uh, I've got a band-aid on it right now, but the paracord that I was tying the clips on with, I was burning the ends and I let it get a little too hot and you know how that paracord, as it knots up, that nylon plasticky part will turn to liquid. You gotta time it just right to where it rolls and closes in, but you don't get it too soft. Well, I got it too soft, and it freaking dripped on my pinky on the top, right there by my knuckle, and just instantly the flesh was gone, and it went all the way down to the meat. So that's not fun. Be careful. Been broken since I was 25. I know that feeling. And just at the in-laws. What state do you live in? I'm out of upstate New York. I'm down here in Texas, if you can't tell by my thick southern accent. And if I don't sound southern, then I appreciate that. Upstate New York. I've heard a lot about upstate New York. It's like an annex of Texas. All you guys up there in upstate New York, y'all are like honorary Texans that are just forced to live with all the crazy people on that island. But y'all have all the same morals and values that we have down here. One of the guys on the Sidemark Pro Staff team is I don't know if he's semi-pro or pro, uh, three-gun shooter. He lives in New York. Super cool dude. If my software ever fails, I'll just run for president. Always got to have a backup plan. All right. So after reading that, I forced my wife to watch Hot Shots Part 2 the other night, and the freaking president on that movie was spot on Joe Biden. Just random. I thought that was hilarious. 43 is the new 25. I'm 30 and I'm living like a young buck. My plate carry is pretty lean as far as what I keep on it. For me, less is better. Yep. Son, president. I love my plate carrier a lot by Tacticon. Tacticon's got a lot of good stuff. And I like the guys that run that company. Oh, San Antonio. San Antonio, we got an aunt and uncle that live down there. $43. Yeah, I'll be 36 in a couple of months. So I'm getting there. Banshee 2.0 carrier after my low cost airsoft stuff 15 years ago when I got started on things, but hey, some of the airsoft still works decent today. Dude, airsoft, like airsoft gear, I'm pretty sure that's how Condor started out. And everybody made fun of Condor because it was airsoft. But now Condor is the like there's a whole bunch of agencies rocking their stuff. Um, my last job in security working at the nuke plant, that's what we wore was Condor chest rigs. Was that you? See who's at the door? Also, I went to Fort Benning for infantry training, and after that went into airborne school till I had an injury from my past, got me in trouble. Condor is a great company. I have a few gear products from them. If you go to their website, um, where you can see their like brand new stuff that's coming out in 2024, it looks just like Blue Force gear. Like all the big name brands, they got super awesome stuff. Going back on that though, as far as airsoft gear, working for um, actual duty, it's all about the stitching. You're fine. Is there someone at the door? Oh, okay. uh, as long as the stitching is good, then everything else will work just fine. SOE. I don't think I've heard of them. They got some cool stuff. That's the thing with technology now. Everybody can reverse engineer and everybody can pretty much create the same quality product. That's why you'll never see me buy an aim point or a surefire. It's because technology has caught up to where we don't need to charge $700, $800 for such a simple piece of technology. I get it that there's a lot of trust and a lot of time invested in the quality of it and reliability, but I've got stuff that doesn't have the same brand name on it that literally has outlived name brand stuff. Special operations equipment, yeah, so he's good stuff. Yeah, I just Googled them. They got some pretty good stuff. So that's one thing that I kind of want to start working on. It's probably going to be one of my goals in 2024. Stand by, I have to yell at a kid. So we're not going to do the in and out thing, are we?
Just getting ready.
Okay.
I had to go outside.
Okay. Is the door closed? Is the door closed? Thank you. I want to. Pretty much everybody these days can make their own chest rig, plate carrier, all that stuff. So I'm not going to try and like reinvent the wheel with something crazy outside the box, but the wants and desires that I have in plate carriers and chest rigs, I'm going to try and combine those two. My mom's freaking badass at sewing, so I'm going to try and rope her into it. But as far as a chest rig goes, I haven't seen it online, but I like the H harness over the X harness all day long. But the waist strap that comes around, um, a lot of those are just your 1 inch or 2 inch nylon strap with maybe a little bit of bungee to where it'll stretch. And what I would like to do is incorporate the those elastic cummerbunds that a lot of the plate carriers have, with the built-in pockets for mags and all that stuff. I basically want an X harness chest rig that is modular as far as the placards go. So I'm not going to really change the placard part. So it's going to be an X harness, except the waistband strap would be one of those stretchy cummerbunds, and then it would have that quick disconnect system mounted into the side of the placard. Because some of the issues I have with an X harness chest rig is I like to wear my stuff high and tight. I don't like wearing my chest rig down here at my belly where it's real saggy, so where if I go into a full sprint, that stuff's bouncing off my legs or my gut. I like to have everything tight and secure up here. But sometimes you have to loosen the straps to get in to your chest rig, and then getting them tight sometimes is a pain. So if you could have everything adjusted exactly how you want and have that quick disconnect with the cummerbund that stretches, then you just get in it, hook in, cinch. There shouldn't be anything to cinch, but then the elastic cummerbunds are going to keep everything tight to you. So that way you'd have your front placard, and then you've got the comfortable cummerbund that goes around back. But then you have additional storage if you want it. So I don't know. It's still prototype in here. Oh, you handmade your chest rig. That's awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely like to look at that. Yeah, I don't think I've bought anything from Devore, but I remember finding out about them a couple of years ago. They got some cool stuff. Yeah, basically the design that I have is it's just like a Frankenstein of a plate carrier and then like a micro chest rig. So you still retain that modularity of switching stuff out if you want, but it's basically just that waist strap. And so the only thing that I think I might would have to fabricate is the the two stretchy cummerbund parts on a plate carrier. They velcro into the back, and so on a chest rig, you you don't have that solid back piece. And so what I'm thinking is that I would just fold that velcro over, sew it, and then I'd probably run like a two small section of 2-inch nylon webbing, maybe with a little bit of stretch, a little bit of give. But most of the stretch is going to be from the cummerbund itself, so it would be all one piece, but it would be the two cummerbunds and then that nylon in the middle. So I don't know. I guess I could do like a tri-glide with two pieces of nylon webbing to where you could adjust it for different sizes, get it the tightness that you want. But I think because the H part is separate from that, so basically I want it to where like how you get into a plate carrier, a lot of guys they'll have one cummerbund closed and they'll swim into it from that one side and then hook that one in. I basically want a chest rig like that. Optics Planet, yeah, they're hit or miss. Uh, I've got some friends that if you say Optics Planet out loud, then they'll start fighting you. But I've never had any issues with them. The only thing with Optics Planet is like before you click the buy button, just make sure you read all the fine print if there is any. Because sometimes they'll sell you stuff that they don't have in hand. They'll make the lead times in small print. Amazon knockoffs also has some really bad quality on some things. Holsters mainly, mag carriers with the flexible retention, like the S-Tech. Yeah, I in my journey of Chinese knockoffs and stuff, I've found that holsters and then mag holsters I really haven't had too big of an issue with, but my personal taste, like I had the hard shell fast mags. I've used the tacos. I've used standard, just traditional Velcro, flat pouches. My all-time favorite is S-Tac, and that's what I run is S-Tac Kiwis. But then holsters, um, I've always gone with Safariland just because they're invincible. Uh, but with Safariland, don't ever buy from their website. That's for damn sure. Go to the website, figure out what model number you need, and then Google it, and you can get it for way cheaper on either Amazon or eBay or whatever. Dara holsters, they make some good stuff. I've got some buddies that use theirs. Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing people are buying it from GBRS is the knockoff stuff. Those guys charge way too much. Um, I've looked at some of their belts. Again, with belts, it's like it doesn't need to be over engineered. Just make sure it's good quality. Um, one of the guys that I do reviews for occasionally, um, Grumpy Man Ventures, he carries the Core Essentials battle belt, and that's what I've been running for. I think 2 years now, and I've had zero issues with that. Core Essentials makes really good stuff. Bear Arms Channel, what's up? What's up, brother? Did y'all see the video of GBRS with the that arrest? The dude they thought was stealing stuff, and they just immediately called the cops on him instead of like calling him and asking him, "Hey, where are these guns at?" Texas gun tubers. Black Point. I don't think I've heard of Black Point. Let me try. Let me look that up. Okay, yeah, yeah. Kydex. That's the thing with active retention. I've had to carry all the jobs that I was required to carry a sidearm with. They all had to be. I had to have at least level 2 or higher retention, and so I know Kydex has come a long way, but unless it's got the hood or if it's got the breech lock, I'll typically won't carry it. Um, just because a long, long time ago, we were doing a course at our range, and I took off running, and I shot the entire course with the rifle, full kit, and then was walking back, and my buddy was like, "Hey, did you lose something?" And I kind of did a check, and I realized that I didn't have my pistol on me. That thing had yeeted itself out of the holster, and I left it 6 miles down the road. So from that point on, I was like, man, whether I'm running, jumping, getting beat up, thrown out of a car, whatever the case may be, I want to have to defeat a locking mechanism to get it out. Which that's another thing I need to try is that Safariland thumb switch uh, add-on. What I was referring to. G Code makes good stuff. I've personally never tried any of their stuff, but RIP Sully used G Code stuff. He said they were really good. What are your thoughts on physical fitness for preparedness? Um, well, I ain't trying to fat shame nobody. Obviously, like it's good to be healthy and be in shape. Um, I will say that if you had to pick either cardio or like weightlifting type fitness, cardio. Cardio, cardio, cardio. Um, 2 years ago, I had an opportunity to go up to, was it North Carolina, and train with the National Composite Adversarial Force for the NRC, and those dudes smoked the ever loving crap out of us. And it was all cardio, and I had not been training cardio at all, and I got my ass absolutely handed to me. So even if you're not like super jacked and big and beefy and all that and can't lift a whole lot, like if you've got a crap ton of gas in the tank, like you can run and you got good cardio, you'll be just fine. You'll outlast everybody else. Trust me. Get out and do stuff. Yep. That's the other thing, people harp on us and they say it's LARPing, going out and training in full kit, but it's beneficial in so many different ways. And one of those is like everything that you do in life, moving your body, is building muscle memory. And so going out to the range and training with all your kit on, you're building muscle memory of how your body needs to move with that stuff on, so that when the time comes, you don't have to actively think about it when something bad happens. Like my son, he's just getting into football, and we were throwing the ball the other day, and I said, well, have you thought about what position you want to play? He said he wanted to be wide receiver. And he's steadily dropping the ball every single time, and we were just throwing static. And I said, well, if you can't catch the ball standing up, you ain't going to catch the ball running. So if you're not training in your kit, then when the time comes, you ain't going to do nothing with it on. Yep, Bear Arms channel, cardio kit will gas you over time. 100% agree. 100%. I was in a self-defense shootout. I've never gassed out so fast in my life. I couldn't breathe, and my mouth has never been so dry in my life. If I weren't in shape, I don't know if I would have made it. Yeah. Well, it's just like a street fight. Street fights are not like MMA and boxing that you watch on television where these dudes are training over and over and over. A street fight lasts like maybe 30 seconds, and both those guys are just at the end, just your freaking heart rate spikes, uh, your adrenal glands dump. Yeah. But if you're like in super good cardio shape, then your ass won't get kicked as much. It's still gonna whoop you. But hey, I'm glad you're here with us. If you were in a shootout and you're telling us about it, then you did your job. So I'm glad you're here with us, brother. Neighbors don't need to see what I got. Man, I want to film so much stuff in my backyard, but it's hard because even though we have privacy fence, like my yard is weird to where there's a hump in the ground. So like out there on my porch and even in my yard itself, it's elevated to where both my neighbors can see me. And I agree 100%. I don't want them to see what I have. I don't want them to see what I'm doing. Oof. Yep. Fight for my freedom for 4 years. Now, did you get your gun back out of evidence? That's my question for you. Yep. Prepped father. A basic military PT test. We'll rephrase that. A basic military PT test like 10, 15 years ago. Now I don't think they have to do hardly anything. I don't know. It might be hard. I'm still waiting to tell Son of Liberty. I'm still waiting on him to tell me if he got his gun back out of evidence. Hopefully, it wasn't a Gucci gun. It was a High Point. Shoot, man, that's the thing. Like some people carry like these super expensive, like absurdly expensive EDC guns because it looks cool and it shoots great, and that's awesome, man. It's America. You get to do what you want with your money, but if you ever have to use that thing and it gets locked up in evidence, phew, I hope you're okay with parting with it. What does KSG mean? Is that the brand of the gun? You were using a KSG in the self defense shootout? If he tells me he got in a shootout with a KSG, that's freaking dope. Yes! Oh man. Oh, it's on YouTube. Did you empty it? We're gonna have to buy you the KSG 25 now, like the Energizer Bunny shotgun. I've never shot one, but I've always thought that KSGs were pretty cool. It's like the popular thing to do to crap on Keltec online, but I mean, some of their stuff that they make looks like they might have done drugs when they were making it, but sometimes that's what innovation looks like. Sometimes innovation looks like you're on drugs. Am I innovating? Yeah, 2011 Staccato. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I think if I ever paid that much for a pistol, my wife would probably use it on me once I told her how much it cost. But yeah, have that lost to evidence, that would suck. Still had 7 in the tube, my man, being conservative with his freedom that he was sending downrange. Thoughts on PDW, PCC for home defense? Home defense, everybody like wants to jump on that bandwagon and well, this is the best gun for home defense, and this is the best gun for home defense. It's like you know your home better than anybody else. So if you're training the way that we should be training, then you should know exactly what those rounds are going to do, how far they're going to go, what all they could potentially go through. So, um, PCC for home defense, I mean, it's just like a spicy pistol with extra gas behind it, so it would work just fine. As far as PDW goes, um, I think isn't it you prepped, Father, that you run the 7.5 in your go bag or in your vehicle for going to and from work and stuff because it's like super urban. I think PDWs are 100% good to go. It's a very niche application, but if you spend a large amount of time traveling in a vehicle or traveling with like a large enough bag to house one, then I think you're good to go. My good buddy Matt, he runs the sound engineering booth for the Promise here in Texas, and he carries a CZ Scorpion Micro in a backpack. Mine has done great. It eats the mini shells just fine. Holds 22 plus 1. Dude, those mini shells freaking rock. We shot some of those in my dad's Mossberg. I think it had an issue or two. Could have been me. But those things are spicy. Keltec for when I go swimming at the beach. You got that Navy SEAL pistol. I try and keep my EDC and my combat pistol the same so I don't have to do any additional training with different weapon systems. I try and keep everything overlapping fields of fire, so to speak, but there are very few times to where if I'm not wearing my EDC gun, I've got a little tiny Titan 25 auto belly gun that I can just put that thing in my pocket. Now, granted, will 25 auto do a whole lot? It's better than nothing, but it's my mouse gun. Heck yeah. On your 7.5, I may have asked you this before. Do you have a blast forward device, the like screaming pig muzzle brake, where it throws everything forward? I had a 7.5 for a long time, and that was the only way I could make it tolerable to shoot, was when it threw everything forward. Yeah, and the good thing with the Glock 19 is it can take 19 mags, 17 mags, 34 mags, um, and when you're looking for doo-doo hits the fan and being prepared and stuff, it's good to uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Cross contaminate your equipment. So that's why I probably won't ever build a loadout with an AK or um, something other than an AR-15 and a Glock, is because your percentages are higher at finding that out in the wild if you need additional supplies. Hey, there ain't no such thing as a sissy pistol. I don't think there's ever been a single report of somebody getting shot and going, "Oh, that was a sissy shot. That was a sissy pistol." Blast can? Yep. Heck yeah. I'm working on a video right now. Basically, it's not really debunking and it's not really crapping on people. It's just kind of bringing awareness to the fact that no matter what type of firearm you choose to train with, don't fall into that mindset that, oh, I need to build a small gun for in the house and a big gun for outside the house. A lot of guys we've talked about it a bazillion times. They get into that CQB fad where they want super small guns and they think that that's how you do CQB. Uh, it's having a Mark 18 type setup. But in this video that I'm working on, I'm clearing my entire house with an 18-inch, and it looks exactly the same as if I were to clear it with anything else. All I have is a 14.5 and an 18-inch, so I'm doing it with both. So. Hey, will you hand me a water? My voice is getting hoarse. Thank you. What are you doing?
They're playing with a whistling baseball, I think, and it went in our backyard.
On my 14.5, I run a Strike Industries Venom. It's the four-pronged flash hider. And I chose that because I always like flash hiders over brakes. But then also with Strike Industries, you can get the oppressor, and it screws onto the end just like a suppressor would. And it'll help not only direct the flash forward more, but actually kill the flash even more. Light versus dark, yep. Yep. I think we talked about that a couple of live streams ago. Like, what are the first couple of things that you buy for your rifle? Sling, flashlight, optic. Yeah, man, those 18 inches. Choo. I was pleasantly surprised when I went to that site mark retreat. I've put I don't know how many thousand rounds through that 18-inch, but the furthest that I get to poke at is 100 yards at the range that I have. And at the site mark retreat, I was able to shoot all the way out to their range went. Their small range went all the way to 500. It was like 480, 520, something weird. And I was very pleasantly surprised with going from 50 to 100 to 200, 300, going all the way out to 500, and the amount of drop I was getting out of that 18-inch was very little at all. And I was using just cheap 55 grain FMJs. Nothing special. I was very pleasantly surprised with that. Yep, oppressor is like the Surefire Warden, except the Surefire Warden looks a lot cooler. And because I'm poor and I wanted to feel like I had a suppressor when I put it on. When I shoot with it off and it's just the Venom, all my buddies call it the tuning forks, which I didn't know this. If you have a flash hider that has 3 or 4 prongs, if the prongs are all the same length, then you'll get the tuning fork effect and it'll go ching, ching every time you shoot. But if the manufacturer makes it or machines it to where they're not all the same length, then you don't have the ringing effect. Out of your BCM? I don't have a BCM, brother. No, my 18-inch is a Frankenstein build. So the lower is what? I don't even know what my stuff is. What's the brand with the horse on it? Anderson? It's an Anderson lower receiver. It's got the a Timney trigger pack in it. The upper is Anderson, I believe, but the BCG is Wilson Combat. The barrel is Ballistic Advantage. So like the brand names of it aren't even what the guts are. All of my guns are freaking Frankenstein builds. Yeah, I just switched my optic out on that 18-inch. I was running a 2.5x8 when I went to that retreat, and it did just well. Did just fine. But I've got that Vortex Sonora, and it's a it's a 4 to 12, I believe, 4 to 12, and I was comparing them a couple of weeks ago, and it was like right at dusk, and the light transmission on the Vortex was way better than my other one, and that was one thing that at that retreat that I was suffering from was the amount of light transmission at that killing hour, that dusk time. So I swapped it out to that Sonora, but I run the 4x12, and then I run a SIG red dot piggybacked on top. Oh, the general purpose rifle video. No, that's my 14.5. So that's a PSA lower, PSA upper. The only thing that is PSA stock on it anymore is the trigger, and it's their EPT trigger. So that BCG is Wilson Combat, and then the barrel is Ballistic Advantage. So usually, yeah, if I buy a rifle, I bought that one from my buddy Matt a long time ago. Those are the two things that I usually gut and upgrade first, is the barrel and the BCG, because everything else is just Barbie doll. It's just accessories. So now on that one's mid-length gas. Hang on. That one's a mid-length gas system, and I run I can't even remember. I think it's Spikes Tactical. I run an H2 buffer, so it's the it's not carbine. Carbine weight is the lightest, and then H2, I think it's like 3.5, 3.2 ounces maybe. I run that, and then a extended, I think it's a rifle length spring, and it, for me, why I changed all that out was like the dwell time, like if it's not full auto, you really can't say your cyclic rate, but you can hear and you can feel everything moving, and it was a little on the laggy side. So I put the new buffer and the spring in, and it runs like a sewing machine. The 18-inch is a rifle length gas system, and every now and then I'll swap that H2 buffer into the 18-inch, and oh my goodness, it's a sweet shooter. Last time I had Shelly out, he shot it, and he had never shot it before. And you take the soft recoil impulse that it has with that rifle length gas, and then you pair it with a 3-pound Timney that has zero creep. It's just wall. That's a sweet shooter. Let me catch up on comments. Nothing wrong with Frankenstein. Yeah, Frankenstein's the way to go, man. It's what makes it yours. All mine are Frankensteins too. I just shop sales until I have a pile of all the right parts to put together. Yep, 100% with that. They don't have a kill flash screen for my SIG, which is a downside for me. So tungsten powder is good stuff. The kill flash stuff, are you talking about for LPVO, LVPO, LPVO? Your 1 to 10? I've always taken the cheap caps that come with my scopes, and I'll take a razor knife and just cut out a little rectangle. And as long as you've got good light transmission coming in, if you don't want, to give up your potential ND on your optic signature, you can just close your cap and you still got that window, and your optics should be able to burn through it. But another thing that I've started doing is my sniper's veil. You can get those on Amazon for like $8. I just cut out a chunk of my sniper's veil and then just stretched it around the front end of my scope and then taped it. So it basically acts as the honeycomb kill flash, except it's just ghetto. Jake from Tacticon Arms or Lucas from T-Rex Arm. I don't know which one Jake is. Is he the one that wears the flip-flops when he shoots, or is he the blonde, hunk-looking dude that is the main CEO of the company? Also, it doesn't matter because either one of them could whoop Lucas 10 times out of 10. I'm not a huge Lucas fan. He makes really good content, and I approve of his mindset and his conviction and his faith and all the education that he brings. But man, is he condescending. Like 95% of his videos, the first couple of minutes, he's like crapping on gun owners and how you can't do this. You're not good enough. And it's like, we get it. You're good at shooting. All right, get on with it. I like the ALG triggers, mil spec but smoother. That's what the EPT is for PSA. It stands for Enhanced Polished Trigger, and all it is it is a mil spec trigger that they just polished. The sear and all the moving mechanisms and stuff is just smoothed up, so you still have the weight of a duty trigger, but there's not as much like creep and stickiness getting over the wall and stuff. Giselle, I hope I pronounced that correctly. My apologies if I did not. Wife owns the... What? Is that your wife's name, or are you saying Geisley's wife owns that company? H2 buffer, auto bolt carriers, heavy 2. Yeah, as far as BCGs go, the full auto rated BCGs and the weight on those, and like the super lightweight BCGs, that I wouldn't worry too much about those. Oh, you slower but recoil is almost non-existent. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can tune your rifle. I know that you might be talking about it, but they make a BCG where you can tune the gas through the gas key instead of the gas block. I don't know if it's Barrel and Hatchet or Brass Fax that runs that, but you can basically tune any rifle through the BCG itself. A gunfight or a fight? I would think they would win either one, because I don't think Lucas would have the stones to actually get in a gunfight. He talks all this talk, but A regular fight, yeah, he'd definitely lose. Knife fight. Well, if it's a knife fight, everybody loses. Nobody wins in a knife fight. Best combat knife. I'm looking for one actually for my kit. Um, don't ask me on advice for knives. So, sunglasses, watches, and knives. I will not spend over $30 to $40 on because I treat them all like the tool that they are. You'll never see me in a pair of Oakleys. You'll never see bling bling on my wrist. Because too many times I've spent a nice chunk of money on these and this and a pocket knife and went out and used it and um, that being said, where I get my knives, I like going to Tractor Supply. They got if you catch them, every now and then they'll have cold steel fixed blades, SOG fixed blades. They'll have them on sale for like $20 or less in their on sale section. Um, so you're not dropping a whole lot of cash, but you get a pretty decent knife. And if you tear it up, it's not that big a loss. They also have a lot of folders there. Um, they carry a lot of Smith and Wesson. So Tractor Supply for knives. His wife. Okay. I like tour knives. They are a bunch of good ones out there. Yeah, as far as like EDC knives go, like I always have a blade on me, but I tear them up so fast because I use them for everything. Um, so that's why I kind of go cheap. Like the one I've been carrying a lot right now, I got it at Tractor Supply. It's a Smith and Wesson. Here, I'll just go get some of them. Fighting defense knife, which is different from my pocket knife or boxes and whatnot. Sunglasses are Oakley, ballistic lens, eye protection, EDC. Yeah, so I hope YouTube don't boot me for showing knives. Here's a Gerber I use. I got this at garage sale. I don't even know what it's called, but it's a Gerber, so I know it's a decent one. I use that. This is probably one of my favorite ones. Camelus. I got this one at Tractor Supply. It's kind of got that sheep's foot blade. This one's pretty torn up, but it's got a really good blade on it. This is the one that I've been using for the past couple of weeks. I got this one at Tractor Supply. It's a Smith and Wesson. It's got a really nice blade, really sharp, but the blade's a little on the flimsy side. So But this one right here, I've probably used the absolute most. It's a Bare Edge. I got this one at Tractor Supply. This thing's a freaking tank. I need to go out there and work on the edge a little bit more. Put one back on there. It's dull as all get out because I've used it so much. But it's still got a decent blade length. Good handle. Needs to be tightened as well. So yeah, those are the 4 main ones that I carry. Hero? Yeah, I went to go get my knives for show and tell. That's where I went. Yeah, footwear I'll put money on. Footwear, 100%. To be quite honest, my last couple of jobs, I just ditched the watch. I haven't even put a watch back on in a long time. I still have one, but I don't ever wear it. Now, footwear, it's funny that you said Merrell's. I just had to throw away my favorite pair of Merrell's. They were the Chameleons. I blew the front end of them out and then hot glued it back together so it would quit talking, and then blew the glue out. So I had to finally get rid of those. But my gray pair that I wear in pretty much all my videos, those are Merrell's. I would say Merrell is the best bang for your buck. But then if you want to, like if you've got some change that you could drop on the best quality pair of shoe that's going to last for forever, Solomon's. My last pair of Solomon's, they were a hand-me-down from my firearms instructor at the nuke plant, and they lasted literally 3 years. Never changed the insole, never ran out of grip. Like, those things just kept going. Now they're like $250, but sharpening, I've been getting into that here lately. I'm not very good at it. Um, it really depends on obviously the blade quality, but then your blade profile. So if it's like dull as all get out, like you literally can't even saw your own skin, I'll put it in a vise and then I use a file and I'll take off a couple of layers of metal with that. And then once I get the right profile that I want, then I'll usually use just like one of those cheap run through sharpeners. And then the, what is it? Piece de resistance. You can use a sharpening stone and do the last little bit and then strop it on a piece of leather. I kind of want to try out the window trick. I've heard, guys, that you can roll your car window down and use the top part of your window to put an edge on your blade, but I'm too scared to try it. My luck, I'll go out there and do it and shatter the entire window, and then my wife come out there and beat my ass. Oh yeah, Son of Liberty, 100%. With the shoes, here's my problem though, is like I'll find a badass pair of shoes that I want to get, but they never have my size because I have gunboats for feet. I wear a size 12 and my dad wears a size 14. And I guess like the industry standard for tactical dudes' feet only go up to like 9 or 10. But yeah, that's something that I need to get. As far as the ankle height, I've never been a huge fan of like the super tall boots. I need a little bit of flex, especially if I'm finna be fast as all get out. If I'm gonna be running and gunning. So I like the ankle high. I think they're 4 inch heels on my boot. Now I will say, back in the day, way back in the day, I used to wear the Rocky Alphas 8 inch, and I loved those boots. They had the zip ups on the side, and they had freaking the most aggressive tread I've ever seen on the bottom. So Rocky is a really good brand as well. Those things will last for forever. But anything tactical or running and gunning, outdoor hiking, doo doo hits the fan, uh, just a good 4 inch hiking boot usually does the trick. As far as the weight of the sole, though, I don't like the super thick ones. I like the shoe to be flexible, if that makes sense. That's one thing that DJ Shipley from GBRS, he did a video on footwear, and he talks about micro terrain and being able to feel what's under your feet. I think that's extremely important. So that's why I like my shoes to have a little bit of flex to it. I've heard a lot of good stuff about Keens. Let me look them up. Oh yeah, and they got some cool looking boots. I might have to give me a pair of those. We were required to have at minimum a 4 inch heel at the new plant, but because I'm a rebel and I don't give a crap, I had the Merrill, yeah, chameleons, the chameleon stretch. Those things were super comfortable. The only thing is they got that bungee shoelace, which actually worked quite well. I didn't think it would stay cinched as well as it did, but it did stay pretty dang cinched. I had no problems in it, even doing force on force stuff. I never had any issues. But you can also cut the elastic cord and just run regular laces through them as well. The tread on those Merrills went out pretty quick, though. I will say that. Low height. I like low height too. Um, the only thing with low height though is, and I've noticed it, I guess because I'm getting older and I'm not as nimble as I used to be out there at the range doing adverse terrain drills and stuff, getting off the flat range and getting into the rocks and whatnot. Um, you roll your ankle a lot quicker with a low top. If you run a 4 inch and you cinch it up pretty good, you're not going to roll that ankle as bad. 4 inch heels. I go hiking in stilettos. Vans, yeah, Vans work just fine. That's the other thing is like most basketball shoes for wet work type stuff. I'm I'm usually either in cowboy boots or what? Cowboy boots. I'm sitting over here picking my armpit hair on camera, and I just realized that. Cowboy boots, flip flops, or tinnies.
But I forgot we have to take Bessie out of here. We're on live.
Yeah. You want to stick your face in here?
Nope.
No.
Hard pass.
Say hello.
Hi.
Altimas. Yeah, I think they got some okay stuff. I've heard a couple of dudes say that the Altimas burn out real quick. Oh yeah, I would never do any of that in work boots. I've got a couple of steel toes that if I got stranded in those things, I'd probably end up just walking barefoot. Fire lace, cover inner, and handcuff key on one end. What? Kevlar inner. You have all that on your shoe? Y'all carry handcuff keys on y'all? Where you going? Oh, Bessie.
Lost track of time. I don't know.
Bessie?
Oh, Bessie.
Oh! Oh. I know a lot of guys that carry the handcuff keys and they'll carry them in that little pocket on the back of their pants and all that stuff. Um, that's a great idea. I've got handcuffs. I got handcuff keys. Um, I don't carry a key on me, EDC. I try my best not to get arrested, but uh, the if they double lock the handcuffs, then yeah, you're screwed. You need a key. If they don't double lock your cuffs, you can pick that stuff with friggin' butt hair. They're easy to get out of. Um, I used to work with those things. The amount of times I've put people in cuffs is insane. But also if you buy cuffs, if you already have them, that's fine. Just be aware of it. But if you have the hinged ones that just hinge, uh, those are pretty easy to break, especially if you got somebody that is somewhat beefy and potentially on drugs and all that, or don't care about pain. They can snap out of those pretty easy. I've seen that happen. But also your regular Smith and Wessons with the chain. I've seen guys wind that chain up and then bust that little pivot pin out completely and get out of those. What else? What else? We got a lot of good ideas going. I love doing live streams, just listening to what everybody carries and what all they do. Because as soon as the live is over, like I'm going in there and doing the same thing. I'm getting tips and tricks from y'all. I think tomorrow when I go dig all that stuff out of my shed and consolidate my bug out pack, I am slowly refining the cooking part of it. So last time we went camping, I think I had all my bases covered because I want to carry everything that I'm gonna use, and then stuff that I don't use, I'm starting to weed that out. But my cooking game needs to step up a little bit. So I got my mess kit and my little frying pan. I've got a jet boil, but I also have my fire starters and all that stuff. So I've been wanting to do that video for a long time, and I think I'm gonna pull the trigger on it, and basically I'm gonna take my son camping. It's just me and him, but I'm gonna do a video where I break down everything that's in my pack and go through that because I want to hear what you guys pack because I'm definitely no expert, and so I don't know. Depending on where we camp, if I have signal, I could do a live stream there. I don't know. I'm down to make any kind of video. My psychiatrist says I'm not allowed to date girls that wear shoestrings. They all have to wear boots. I do. So upcoming stuff. I've had a little back and forth with Sightmark. Just to update for you guys on that stuff. So the pro staff manager, which is my line of communication into them, as far as getting products to test and whatnot. She just had a baby like last month, something like that. So she's been on maternity leave. She's been on maternity leave, and so the communication hasn't been the greatest as far as getting products back and forth. Hopefully, that has been remedied after the last communication I had with them. And that being said, the night vision hopefully is en route, so I'll have those reviews coming up. So that couple of other random videos, just ideas that I have here and there that I'm going to be spitting out here pretty soon. And then my buddy Adam, he's the guy I go bow fishing with. He's got some property where we're going to be able to stretch our legs on the rifles again. And so I'm going to take our steel out there, and I'm wanting to do a full kit loadout. And basically stretch my rifles out and see how far I can go effectively and shoot, because I think his opens all the way up to like 1,200 yards, which we ain't going that far with 5.56, but we got plenty of room to do that. Another video I forgot that I'm working on right now is a random ranging video. And so I've been working on that to really get everybody thinking and out of this mindset that we need to make specific rifles for specific ranges and basically, the video is me driving around to all the places that I normally go to: gas station, Walmart, grocery store, um, department store, different places in town, but then also different places around my house. And we're just going to range it and see what that range is, document the ranges, and then kind of come back and discuss what was the average range that we saw, that we encountered the most, what was the furthest range that we encountered, so like these are all potential areas where we could engage someone at if something happens, worst case scenario. So kind of having that information in the back of your mind, to me at least, is helpful. um, to it kind of gives you some perspective on like what your rifle is already zeroed at, but then what you are comfortable and effective at. So a little bit of that compare and contrast and discussion with that. All right, bud. Got to go feed the family, man. Appreciate you stopping by, man. We'll catch you on the next one. Always a pleasure talking with you. Or if you come back. I'm hoping to get at least a couple of videos worth of going out there to my buddy's property. Just having that much space to do all that stuff, it'd be a missed opportunity not to. What are we eating? Tools always matter less than the skill set mindset. 100%. That's one thing that we talk about a lot on this channel, is the software is more important than the hardware. Hardware is important, but I don't know how many friggin' dudes that I've gone to the range with and trained with and been around and worked with that the software was not up to date. Their free trial had already ended. So it doesn't matter what kind of kit you run. Like, if you suck, you suck. And it's a shame, but and that's the other thing I like about this community and this channel, is that I've I very rarely run into a turd that only cares about throwing shade. 99% of everybody else on this channel always has a very warm and welcoming attitude, and is always understanding and willing to share their experiences, and like what we're doing here, just talking about all the stuff that we carry every day, little tips and tricks. Like, that's what is absolute most important, not only in the world these days, but in this community. That's one of the reasons why I don't really like Lucas Botkin. And he might be completely different in person, but his demeanor in the videos that he makes is just very condescending. Yeah, um, that's one thing that I'd like to get my hands on. I've got a set of binos, and they suck. But hopefully, if Sightmark gets their act together, then one of the other things that I'm going to be reviewing is like their highest level set of binos. But I'd like to get a set of binos that has the ranging tool etched into it, the ranging reticle, so that you don't need a rangefinder that runs off of batteries and stuff. But I think it's also, it's not talked about a whole lot, but I do it all the time when I go hiking, especially when I take the family hiking at like a state park or wherever. Take that rangefinder with you, and like if you get to a wide open spot, just start ranging stuff and like concentrate on what that range looks like in your mind. Okay, that's 400 yards, and then just observe nature and observe that distance. Okay, kind of mentally take that snapshot of that's what 400 yards looks like. Let me click here. Oh, that's 1100 yards. Just kind of mentally drink it in what that looks like, and it's it's a perishable skill, just like everything else that we're doing, to where you can get better at ranging in here. Um, at least here in Texas, everything is a football field. How many football fields is that? It looks like 5 football fields. It's probably close to 550 yards. Oh yeah, dude. Uh, grocery shopping sucks. I will say I don't know if they have them up there where you're at, but I do most of my grocery shopping at Aldi's. I can go to Aldi's and fill my buggy up for like $100. If it's super full, maybe 120. If I go to HEB and get the same amount of food, 250 easy. I'm also realizing that my freaking nipples are poking out like hardcore. Yeah, so I've told y'all before in earlier videos, my end all dream is to have like a training facility that not only could I teach stuff, but it would just host learning to where we could have other instructors. It wouldn't have to necessarily be anything certified. Just if there's enough people that want to take a class and somebody can teach it, boom, it's there. But that being said, I want to grow the channel big enough um, to where, and this is way down the road. This is just like big dreaming time. I would like to get big enough to where, like maybe quarterly, maybe every other month, something like that. I don't know. Um, you know how all these other big YouTubers, they have these big range days, and all it is just a bunch of dudes coming out and shooting full autos for some clips, you know, on the YouTubes. I want to have something like that, only not near as big, but specifically dedicated to like the hardcore viewers that support the channel and want to get better and just have that learning mindset. I want to get all you guys, fly all y'all out here to Texas and go to the range and like just do some work. Like, yeah, obviously have fun plinking, shooting, having a good time, but like actually have a curriculum where it's like, all right, guys, we're going to do these drills. We're going to push each other to get better. We're going to work on this. We're going to work on that. I think that'd be fun. title is too long. In screens. Gotta change my title. I would think that big city like that, an average block is about 100 yards, isn't it? Give or take. From street to street. How is Bessie?
That's the exact same sound we make on G's Ring camera every time we get to her house. I ring the doorbell and I get really close to it and I go.
I shout that at people at work and they look at me strangely. I'm fixing to get off of here, so.
Okay, because your daughters want cereal for dinner.
Cereal for dinner! I think gas down here right now is. I got $30 worth a couple of days ago, and it was $3.35 for regular. A single meth head this whole damn time. I want my money back. So meth heads, I work with them. I had a good day today. It was Friday. Everything was nice and peaceful. And then one of the second shift meth heads that I work with showed up and almost went to fisticuffs. So public service announcement, don't do meth. Hey, come poke your head in here.
Is that public service or is that common sense?
Common sense.
I'm not poking my head in anywhere.
Stick your face in here and make a weird noise.
It looks like you found me under a bridge at the current moment, so.
I found my wife under a bridge.
I'm gonna pass.
They're gonna think I'm faking. They're gonna think I'm not married. That the girls don't like
You're gonna
me.
be faking that than to have your wife come on screen looking the way I do right now.
They're all like, ugh. Sorry for your loss. They want to see Mrs. Goliath Killers.
Oh.
I'm Goliath. She's the killer. All right, I'm getting off here so I can go eat. Prep. Go eat with your family. I know your food should be there soon.
Beer.
Pepsi. They didn't have Diet Pepsi.
Oh.
Son of Liberty. We'll catch you on the next one, brother. Appreciate it. I'm outies.
What'd you say?
I said I'm outies.
Well, I did dishes today, but